Thank you, Audrey. Being asked to speak at this convocation and to welcome us all to another year at Pomona College is probably the greatest honor of my professional life. Now, I won't lie to you. That is more than a little bit because I feel here, up in my robes, in this great hall, just the tiniest bit like Albus Dumbledore. And any day you can feel even the tiniest bit like Albus Dumbledore is a day you can put down for the win. But it's more than that. Being asked to speak at this convocation means so much to me because Pomona College and small liberal arts colleges in general mean so much, period. What's at stake in small liberal arts colleges is huge, far bigger than we usually acknowledge. That has always been true for all 131 years of Pomona's history. But these are times when our acknowledgement of why we're here, our acknowledgement of what is at stake for all of us, in all these robes and rituals and ridiculous recitations of the number 47, is more imperative than ever. If I asked most of you to tell me why you're at a small liberal arts college, I suspect I'd get some solid B+ answers. You'd recite the talking points of campus view books with their shiny pictures of multiracial harmony. You know what I'm talking about. At a liberal arts college, you are a name and not a number. Or, at a liberal arts college, you get to have a social life that's not defined by sorority brats or frat bros. Or, at a liberal arts college, students have real relationships with real professors as opposed to being taught by grad students who are more concerned with paying bills than blowing minds. Now, those answers are all true. That's why I said that they're solid B+ answers. Let it be said here in this esteemed setting, B does not stand for bad people. Just as A does not stand for adequate. And yet, I don't want to sound like Rudolph Giuliani here, or ever. But this is one case where the truth isn't the truth. Or, more precisely, where the surface truth obscures the deeper truth. It's like if I told you, I like being in love because I hate to do laundry. And when you're in love, you have someone to do your laundry for you. True statement. This very weekend, I thought to myself, thank God I fell in love with Will 13 years ago because otherwise my favorite t-shirt wouldn't be clean to wear under my robe at Convocation. Here, I'll show you. This is proof of my beautiful marriage. Surely not everybody was kung fu fighting. But if I told you that love inheres in laundry, you would be right to say, sure you aren't missing something? Is clean laundry really the purpose of love? Couldn't you go to a laundromat and have someone wash your laundry there? And if someone else did the washing, would you leave your husband? And so on. In other words, you would see that I'd given you a superficially true valuation of love, but that I was missing the forest for the trees. Yet I think we do that forest missing all the time when we're talking about the value of a small liberal arts college. We do that at our peril. The core idea of a liberal arts education is that it is an education in the arts of liberty. Let me say that again. The core idea of a liberal arts education is that it is an education in the arts of liberty. As opposed to mere mechanical training, a liberal arts education is supposed to, as my darling colleague Betsy Crichton said when she stood here 7 years ago, set you free. Okay, But what on earth does that mean? What does it mean to have liberty? What does it mean to be free? Those are not easy questions. Americans, for sure, are really bad at answering them. Oh, we Americans do love us to talk about how we love our liberty. A sentiment captured in one of my least favorite songs of all time. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. But do you know that, Lee Greenwood? Do you really? In practice, most Americans are uniquely terrible at telling you what freedom actually entails. It's like the funny thing that happens when you ask Americans about their rights. Americans think they have some rights that they don't. They think they don't have some rights that they do, but God damn it, they know they have them some rights, whatever the hell they are. Plenty of people before me, observing this, have said, this is a big problem when it comes to the future of the Republic. Because if you do not give any thought to what liberty and freedom are, you're likely to lose them. Many great minds have struggled to define liberty, and we can only scratch the surface of that struggle today. But for my part, I always come back to what my dear James Baldwin said, and so I say it to you. Freedom is not something that anybody can be given. Freedom is something people take. And people are as free as they want to be. So, how free do you want to be? I invoke Baldwin because the most powerful, sustained conversation about liberal education that I know of is in African American political thought. Especially in the years after emancipation, African American intellectuals had unparalleled conversations about what kind of education would secure freedom for the race. Many of you will know that Booker T. Washington represented a school of thought that said, vocational education is what Black people need to be free. If African Americans could achieve economic independence, Washington said, they would eventually achieve equality and freedom. To this, W.E.B. Du Bois responded by saying, essentially, are you crazy, my friend? You can't even have economic independence without political liberty, and you can't have political liberty without certain tools, literacy, confidence, moral clarity, to be able to advocate for yourself and others. African Americans, Du Bois said, should know better than anybody else that putting economy before morality is the logic of slavery, not the logic of liberty. Today, the debate between Washington and Du Bois still lives in here, in many of you. When you think about what you want to get from college, are you just thinking about economic independence? Or are you thinking bigger? How free do you want to be? By the way, both Washington and Du Bois gave lectures at Pomona College, 115 and 105 years ago, respectively. I love that. That over a century ago, somebody at Pomona recognized that those to whom liberty is being denied are usually those who understand liberty best. I find it highly interesting, and I want my colleagues to pay special attention to this point, that historically Black colleges, almost certainly the colleges in this country that give liberty the most central role in their discourse and curriculum, are the only colleges in this country which have not seen a decline in humanities enrollments over the last decade. People sometimes say that a liberal arts education teaches you how to think, but that claim is unthinking. Everybody knows how to think. More accurately, a liberal arts education teaches you to think that you have choices, that those choices matter, and that those choices matter because you matter to other people and other people matter to you. And you and your choices matter not just in some bullshit Hallmark card kind of way, but because for the briefest of cosmic moments, we are all stuck on this molten rock, hurtling through unfathomable space, and we're locked in it together. Tied together in a single garment of destiny, said Dr. King. Notice that all those things that set liberal arts colleges apart on the surface, our emphasis on discussion, our inducements to curricular breadth, and even our insular campus life, are designed to expand your universe of choices, to get you to choose what to think about, and to teach you that your choices matter. What you choose to say here in class matters to other people. How you choose to treat your siblings matters to other people. If you mess up the bathroom every time you use it, you bet your ass that other people will let you know that your choices matter to them. I hope that here you will develop the habit of acting like you matter. You can't secure freedom for anybody if you don't act like you matter. How free do you want to be? It's kind of funny. In the end, we can set up this whole deal, right? Building on the great efforts of generations before us to provide a space for the cultivation of human knowledge and freedom. But we can't control what you do with it. You are the ones who, in the end, determine how much your being here transforms anything at all. And know that if it's not hard sometimes, you're not doing it right. Pretty much everything we do here harks back to line 38a of Plato's Apology, where the ancient Greek teacher Socrates says, this will be a line familiar to many of you, even if you haven't read Plato, though you should, the unexamined life is not worth living. As my own teacher, Cornell West, is fond of pointing out, Socrates never says the examined life is easy. To be honest, the hardest part of college is not the part that happens in class. It's the part where you're sleep-deprived and anxious and desperately lonely, confused about your goals, your ideas, and your place here and in it all. When you have those moments here, and you will have those moments here, be brave enough to face yourself. Liberty requires introspection, and introspection requires bravery. As my beloved former student Jacob Merkel, class of 2018, wrote me just last night, I kid you not, he wrote me these following lines last night. Growing toward being who we want to be as individuals and collectives requires feeding the better angels of our nature. Yet, that cannot be done without the bravery that it first takes to stay down with our demons. Yeah, I know, Jacob Merkel is the real deal. He got himself an education at Pomona. Be brave. How free do you want to be? Being introspective is a job for us all. At elite institutions like this one, we are in a tricky place. To be regarded as elite, we have to be, to some degree, aligned with a dominant culture. We are caught up in the very systems of power and domination that many here would critique and seek to dismantle. At the same time, our place in this society is countercultural. We ask questions here that you are not supposed to ask in society at large. We have space here to speak truths that most people cannot dare to speak in their daily lives. As such, we at Pomona must continually interrogate the consensus beliefs we encounter here. Be wary of the we that gets marshaled here, often in a way that subsumes you. In other words, when someone here says, as people will say, we here believe that, you check that statement. It is all of our jobs to cultivate an aversion to conformity and to curate meaningful diversity, the true stuff of liberty. How free do we want to be? Well, a lot of smart people are predicting that in the next 15 years, half of all American colleges will shut down, mostly small colleges like ours. You can guess why. As online education becomes more cost-effective, it will undermine the business models of traditional institutions. But recognize, that shift will be a shift of more than a business model. It will signal a shift away from liberal arts education and toward what we political theorists call neoliberal education. Education that is guided not primarily by concerns for individual and civic liberty, but by concerns for economic efficiency. There are new gods moving into town. There are so many ways in which the foundations of liberty in our world are being threatened. I don't need to list them for you now. The world needs more liberal arts education, not less in this time. But less is what we are about to get. This might be a time then to honor the gift we have been given in being here and to stand up and speak up for what we do and why we do it. How free do we want to be? I said that we at liberal arts colleges like Pomona are in a space where we can speak the truth. So here, my friends, is some truth. None of us chose to be born. None of us chose to be this strange kind of creature that is capable, each of us, of great love and great evil. None of us chose this strange and estranging world to call home. And yet here we are, in this tiny, fragile, miraculous space where I am saying to you, in between the infinity before you were born and the infinity after you die, you have been gifted with this small time and space where you have some small capacity to choose, to transform something, to learn something, some small capacity to be free. That is huge. How free are we going to be? As Albus Dumbledore tells Harry, one night when Harry is down with his own demons, it's Book 2, Chamber of Secrets, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. P.S., so stop mentioning what your SAT score was and show us what you're actually made of. My dears, take your freedom and take us for a ride. I want you to show us who you really are. I want you to choose. I want you to choose well, and I really hope that you will choose good. Bless this school, bless you, and welcome to Pomona College.